So for this video, we'll look at coincidences that have to do with numbers. But it wasn't just names that popped up again and again coincidentally, but also numbers. Some of these were quaint that they even took the time to notice. There's this photograph and handwritten letter from Miss D.G. Patton, Chicago, who was born in 1909 at 1909 Stork Avenue. And there's John Anderson, the Lions Club district governor who drove 100 miles to 100 West Virginia on the 100th anniversary of Wetzel County to organize the 100th Lions Club in West Virginia. Quite a bit of documentation here. 2 letters from the International Lions Club in West Virginia. And even a program from the Wheeling Lions 25th, misspelled anniversary, in which the menu included a fruit cocktail, roast turkey with dressing, candied sweet potatoes, and cherry pie a la mode. And a letter from Mrs. Vera Gamel. Enclosed, please find a typed affair which happened to my father in the year of 1913. Never happened before, can never happen again. Frank Miller, engineer of train number 13 for 13 years, on Friday the 13th in 1913, left on track 13 with engine number 513 and 13 cars. And there were a number of these strange coincidences where numbers would occur again and again. We have Gail Kaywood from Chicago, who weighed 11 pounds, 11 ounces at 11 weeks. She was born at 11/11, November 11th, 1938. And she has 11 letters in her name. What a cutie. And not to be outdone, we have John Culver from Hamilton, Ontario, who was 11 years old on the 11th day of the 11th month, 1933, born at 11 o'clock, and weighed 11 pounds at birth. And here's an intriguing letter from October 25th, 1940, from the Carnegie, Illinois Steel Corporation in Chicago, Illinois. Dear Mr. Hix, since our sporadic correspondence during the summer about a grand piano suspended from a single strand of piano wire, that sounds interesting, I have come across another item that might interest you. This is about a man named Bayless Cosner, who resides in a suburb of Gary, Indiana, known as Camp 133. The community is on a stream known as Deep River, and formerly was the summer headquarters of many theatrical and circus people. You know, the other day I was attacked by some circus clowns in the parking lot. I won, though. I went straight for the jugular. Cosner for years has been known fictitiously as the unofficial mayor of Camp 133. In 1922, Cosner managed to acquire Indiana auto license plates 133. Since then, he has used the license plates as illustrated in the attached photographs. He claims to be the only man who is able to use his license plates to accurately advertise his home address. You know, there are 24 beers in my fridge and 24 hours in a day. Coincidence? Nah, I'm just an alcoholic. Then there's this one from George Howard of St. Louis, Missouri, which would have been hard to escape even if you weren't paying attention. Known as Old 57. City auto license plate number 57, state auto license plate number 57, state driver's license number 57, club membership card number 57, 2 club lockers, both number 57, and 57 years ago piloted locomotive number 57 of the Union Pacific. And here's a photograph of George Howard and a composite photograph of all the 57s he drove and engineered. Which would be weird if he was the only one, but there's Charles Fish, 205 Richard Street, with a city auto license number of 205, a state license of 205-205, and a telephone number 205. Of course, all those numbers back then only had 3 digits. And in proof, Charles Fish sent not only his telephone directory showing his number as Joliet 205, but the actual City of Joliet vehicle license. How's that? This license expires December 31st, 1929, strange as it seems. And this from Wayne Carmichael on April 11th, 1936, written on notebook paper. Dear Sir, I would like to have you print this article in your Strange as It Seems. I have an uncle whose name is Fourth Kelso of Peru, Nebraska. He was the 4th child of the family. He was born on the 4th of July. He was named Fourth, of course. He was married on the 24th to a 4th child. He lives in the 4th house on the 4th street. Fascinating. And here's a photograph of Fourth Kelso. Seems like a happy soul. Makes you wonder, were these really coincidences, or were people just paying attention more back then? Like Alvin Goldman on April 7th, 1935, who bought a railroad ticket number 777 on train 7, car 7, lower berth 7 to Fort Worth. And there are 7 letters in Goldman, St. Louis, and Fort Worth. And this one from Albert Voice, sent by himself from the Voice Motor Company. His business address, telephone number, and auto license are all 4747. At home, his street number and telephone are both 1009. Here we have another photograph on the back of a postcard of Mr. Albert Voice. We have the barely holding together page from the phone directory. And this final letter from Albert Voice, dated May 4th, 1934. Dear Mr. Hix, many, many thanks for releasing my 4747 Strange As It Seems. I appreciate it very much and hope that I may be of some service to you in the future. In fact, if you want a little Chevrolet, come up and see me sometime. Anytime. True car salesman. And perhaps not too surprisingly, fixation on the unlucky number 13. But we have 13 Kleber, the 13th child of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Kleber, was born on March 13th, 1933. Guess for her that's a lucky number. We have Mrs. Hazel Johnson from Long Beach, California, who was 13 years old on Friday, June 1913. Here's a lovely picture of Mrs. Hazel Johnson. And this from Al Bell, who sent in this ticket itself as the proof. He held a ticket for seat 113 on row 13, aisle 13, on Friday the 13th. This was a ticket to the Hollywood Legion Boxing Stadium, as well as a letter from Al Bell. Dear Mr. Hix, enclosed is the ticket to the Hollywood Legion Stadium for seat 113 in the 13th row, aisle 13, on the night of Friday, December 13th. Despite this, I picked the winner in every fight. And as you might expect, some bad luck with the number 13. A train drawn by engine 1313 was wrecked on Friday the 13th in Braintree, Massachusetts in February of 1942. 6 injured. And this last one on the number 13, which I found a little poignant. Lieutenant Walter Rigoli, who was born September 13th, lived in the 1300 block, was married May 13th. From his group, 13 crews were chosen. He was the 13th. His PO number adds up to 13. His first plane had 13 missions. His first mission was on the 13th of the month. And his bed in the barracks is number 13. And a really nice letter from his wife, detailing this with a photograph. And then later, in April 2nd of 1944, another letter. Dear Mr. Hix, since writing you about my husband, Lieutenant Walter L. Rigoli, I have received word that he has been reported missing in action over Germany. Strange as it seems. Well, that concludes this video about coincidences that have to do with numbers. Please click the bell to subscribe, like, follow, comment, and I'll see you for the next video where we talk about coincidences that have to do with timing.